Yeah, you gotta go.
Coming to you live from my basement apartment, and the patient is on the mend. It is Sports Allegedly.
Yeah, now you gotta do your other one.
Welcome. Now, welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Enjoying a massive day of Olympics.
Yes, we've been heavy on the Olympics, but thanks for joining us on this August 5th of 2024. For this episode of Sports Allegedly. Sean to my right, I'm Kenny coming in.
Who's to your left over there?
Yeah, no,
the old bag.
Left to the bag, the old bag. No, lots to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to preview the Big 10. We're also going to talk about NFC and AFC South divisions, give our predictions on that, talk a little OU football. Spring camps obviously started, so let's move on. Sean, you want to pull up a little bit of the Olympic coverage if we want to talk about that?
I got a question.
What's that?
When are we gonna blow up doll of Creston made and just set it right there, put clothes on it?
We could do that. We could dress him up real nice.
Get some fundage for that.
All right, let's pull up the Olympics. We were actually watching field hockey.
Earlier. The Argentinians took it from the Germans in extra time.
And a shootout.
Penalties.
Yes, it was a shootout.
So,
anything else news on the medal tracker?
Well, the Americans are still in the lead overall.
78, 53, 48.
We were tied with China.
That was of last night.
Night. We are one down tonight.
So China currently has 21.
I forgot where they got that gold.
And USA has 20, and then France
has
13. But individual-wise, we're leading by quite a bit, to be honest, right now. So that's as of real time.
You ever notice the host countries always
they do better
in the top three?
They do. They really do.
At least top five.
Besides China and U.S., I mean, they seem to always be the
right
ones there.
But you know, whoever's hosting seems to always be up there.
Because we're killing it in the freaking silver and bronze again this week. Actually, it was just 2 days ago update, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so we were still killing it then. So we haven't been quite a week. So all right, there's your Olympic update.
The Germans have 16 medals. They're doing great in gold.
Let's get down to the bottom. Give me some ones.
Well, look at China Taipei has 4 medals.
Kazakhstan has 4.
Uzbekistan has 3.
Probably in shooting and such. Let's see what we got.
Wow, that's racist.
No,
Azerbaijan has 2 medals.
Let's go back down to the
2
bottom.
gold medals.
Oh, nice. Well, that's a good average, you see.
Look at that. Lithuania has 2 bronze.
So all the ones
Uganda
all have golds.
That's strange, isn't it?
Yeah,
no. We get to Colombia,
Thailand,
and
Tanzania, Fiji. Then you got Portugal,
Mongolia. What did
I
they
thought
win?
Portugal would be, and Egypt would give a better. Wouldn't they give in Cuba?
Cuba?
None of the training going on there.
I don't know about the training.
They're too worried about it in the U.S. But anyway, all right.
What about Grenada? I mean, you know, they've got some serious athletes down there.
Indonesia. I thought Indonesia and Portugal could give a better.
Look at poor Austria.
Never heard of her. Anyway, all right, let's move
Never
on.
heard of Austria.
We've heard of Austria.
That's what I just said.
I think Arnold got that bronze.
Now, why don't you tell me where Cape Verde is?
Nah, that's the one I've never heard of.
Yeah,
but I like a salsa verde.
I do.
Yeah. All right, there's our Olympic update. Let's move on. You want to go right into it? Let's just do the college.
Rip the Band-Aid off?
Let's just do the college football. We're going to talk.
It's so much Olympics you wanted to go there.
I know. It was just
we can go through results.
I haven't watched a lot of it. We were watching.
We have a 3x3 basketball.
USA nowhere to be found.
I think we got. No, we beat Canada. Women beat Canada. As in the bronze. Men. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know who. I think it's street ball or something. We should have really good street ballers that we should be sending.
I think it's the Ice Cube, Ice T.
Yeah, it's Ice Cube.
Yeah,
it's Ice Cube. It's his 3-on-3 league.
He kind of has and I've watched some of that in the summer.
It's good. I enjoy it. But
I guess it's more winter, isn't it?
You know.
No, right now, time.
Simone Biles took silver in the gymnastics artistic, the floor final. See, if you just go down, you find out all the other results. We didn't do anything in men's horizontal bars. I think we got knocked out early in that. Yeah, we got nothing in women's balance. But God, what is wrong with our? What is wrong with our gymnasts?
Take the OU team. I mean, just take them all.
Yeah, and some of the who's the other really good one?
Look at Kenya nailing it though.
Stanford. Well, that's what they got there. gold in.
And silver.
The 5 million
and the bronze
final.
up there.
The
500.
5 million meter final. Women's discus we took first. 69.5 feet.
I'd like to be able to do that at disc golf. I can't get it like past.
You have the greatest
20,
hoppity hop.
20.
I showed before I went to surgery. I showed that to Jamie and he laughed. He goes, people who start shouldn't be doing run-ups, and I was like, yeah, but it was hilarious. Ooh, shooting. Where's that guy? Where's Turkey?
I think that's way further down. All right,
Didn't he already win gold?
Yeah, I mean the Olympics. I mean it's great, brings everybody together. I think it's
We got silver in the triathlon.
There are so many people that watch the Olympics simply to not even really watch it, but just to see how their country's doing, which is really good. So bring some peace, bring some.
We
clarity.
enjoyed some beach volleyball. Canada versus U.S. and U.S. got knocked out of that one.
Yep, they lost that. Yes.
I think we were just perverts watching.
I was just
Bull.
checking it out. So.
Bull. So you said we're doing Big 10? Moving into Big 10?
Yeah, you were talking to any OU football. I mean, that we did practice this week. Venables talked yesterday.
I know he released the injury for...
None. We're pretty healthy. Andrew Anthony
right, but that's what I'm saying.
Was wearing a boot on his knee, but
boot?
everything looked good. A lot of compliments on the offensive line, which we've talked about being
well, we have talked about it, but
it is the weakness. Quarterback looks good. Obviously, Jackson, I love the Hawkins, the backup guy. The Bowen brothers are going to be studs. Looks like the best defense we've had since.
Well, we have to keep winning to keep them here. Well, that's the
no. They'll finish next year because they'll be top. They'll be first round picks. I mean, they ain't going.
They're already ready to.
Next year, after next year. Peyton will be, and then Eli's just coming in.
Well, I mean, it's currently hard to keep kids on a team because.
No, I agree, but I think that
the portal, and we've talked about that.
But have we lost besides? Okay, so. We talked about that. Anyway, practice, everything obviously positive coming out of OU.
Well, we lost a little bit when Levy left. But...
No, I'm talking about now. Caden Green was the big loss. The perennial freshman guard went to Missouri. This is allegedly what I've seen, and then was playing tackle all spring, and then has moved back to guard. So it's almost like that the rumor was that he got the money for being a tackle, but he just went back to guard. And I'm not saying we upgraded because he's a hell of a talent. There's no doubt. I'm not going to say that, but I think they paid a lot of money for him.
I'm sure they did. I mean, it's just like with Najee Kennedy. She got her $1 million to go to Texas Tech, and we know that they're not really going to be competing in softball.
One of them now, when we do our preview for softball later in the Big 12, I think they could be towards the top now. Them and OSU,
but that's only in the Big 12. But that's that's with Texas.
You're talking about overall.
Yeah,
that's overall. I agree. I totally agree.
Right. I mean, she was strictly for the money. I mean, I get it. I get it. That sport is still in its infancy for the league. How old is that league now?
What do you mean?
The softball league, the professional softball league.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what they're getting paid.
But that's what I'm saying. You take that money because if you're going to go and you're going to do it professionally, you're not going to be making much money.
Gotcha.
Because that's what I'm saying. That league is still young. 5 years maybe? Is that what it is?
I honestly don't keep up, to be honest.
I know you don't. If it's not popular now, then Kitty does not care.
No, it's tough.
If it's just starting and it's something that it's more sports for us to watch, he really doesn't care until everybody likes it.
Well, I don't know if everyone's gonna like professional softball.
I've wanted a professional softball forever. Over women's basketball.
So talk about OU. They came in preseason. The coaches poll came out.
Oh, yeah, the coaches poll. We need to talk about coaches poll.
Coaches poll came out today. OU finished 16, Oklahoma State 18.
SEC heavy on top.
Obviously, Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Oregon 3, Texas 4. That's overrated, and Alabama's 5. I could see Texas and Alabama not even finishing close to that top 5. Ole Miss follows by Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State, Florida State. Missouri comes in 11th. First Big 12 team.
If they're putting Florida State down
first Big 12 team
far.
First Big 12 team is 13. And then you've got
who was that? That was
Utah. Yeah. Utah,
which I got Utah.
Utah, much. Kansas State, Oklahoma State.
I got Utah pick to pick.
Well, Utah, Kansas State, Oklahoma State's going to be your best 3 teams in the Big 12 this year. And they're picked right where they should
yes,
be.
Yes, well, I've got Utah picked pretty
and
much.
Arizona
undefeated.
picked a little high. We talked about
the loss of Fish.
Now
the
quarterback's
stayed.
still there, so he's good.
I think a lot of the offense stayed, didn't it?
Lincoln Riley at number 23 at USC, I giggled about, and Kansas at 24, which is impressive. You know, Kansas is going to have almost 30. It's either 30 or almost 30 seniors on their roster coming in to this season. So don't. That could be a surprise pick for a lot of people to be picking somebody that could. And I'm not saying they're going to get in that playoff, but if they win the Big 12 and only have a couple losses, they could sneak into that 12-team playoff.
They could.
So anyway,
they could. Well, this may be the first year that Oklahoma State makes it to the playoff.
Yeah, 12 teams. I think there's a possibility.
But I do know that they're looking heavily at the SEC and the Big 10 taking a lot of those spots because you have to have two outside. Is that what it is? Just two teams from outside the Power Four now.
I don't know how they
get those. Like
there's one. I think they have
main overall champion or something of the.
Well, because they're not taking the Power Five. I haven't even looked at the playoffs, so.
I forgot how that goes. I know we talked about it for a little bit.
It's like the kickoff. It's like the kickoff rules for the NFL. It's something we're just going to have to learn as we go.
Oh, I already know the kickoff rules. You're the one that has to learn them.
It's just stupid.
It's totally fine. It's for player safety.
I understand what they're trying to do. Sorry, I'm sidetracked by the Indians and Diamondbacks. So we went into 10th innings. The Indians tied it up in the 9th, and then
you guys got it tied up.
No, and they turn around and give up a run on the top of the 10th. So it's like, wow, you just want to give this game away, Indian. And let me tell you something about the Dolans. Let me have a little rant right now. People, you didn't go get a good pitcher. You should have gave up some prospects.
You didn't do what you're supposed to.
The guy's too cheap. Sell the team. It's ridiculous. It's one of the best offenses that Cleveland has had in years, and still they're not giving them any starting pitching. You know, obviously Bieber's out. McKenzie had to go to not rehab, but was dropped down because he was pitching horribly. Bullpen's good, but I mean tonight they've scored 6 runs in 9 innings and they're still losing, just like they did. They scored 5 or 6 against Baltimore in the last game. It's disappointing because I know eventually it's just not going to work out because the pitching is just not there. So anyway, moving on back to OU.
Man, I did not care about any of that.
Florida State.
Because Chicago White Sox are trying for the biggest loss ever.
I think that.
Suck on that.
No, I was talking about the coaches' polls before we get into the Big Ten. I thought some of the overrated teams, obviously I've always said Texas this year is going to be a little overrated. I could see 2 to 3 losses from them. Their schedule is easier. Obviously, I know I've never liked Penn State. They don't have an offense ever. So get an offense. Clemson is interesting, but their schedule is fairly easy. Tennessee, Oklahoma, those are the 2 teams. They play each other the first SEC game of the year. That's going to be that's a big game for both of them. Josh Heupel returns back to Norman, where he won a national championship in 2000, and then was subsequently fired later by Bob Stoops as offensive coordinator years down the road. So that's going to be, and then Iowa. We didn't talk about Iowa. New offensive coordinator. They make it back in the top 25 preseason. So
sorry, I'm looking at the transfer portal right now, and I have to say that. The Central Missouri Red Donkeys are making some moves.
What's that?
They got an
interior offensive
lineman from Miami who was transferred there, Jonathan Dennis. And then down here they got a kid from Michigan, Christian Dixon, wide receiver.
And who is this team?
It is Central Missouri State.
Central Missouri State. Okay.
They're the Red Donkeys or something. Here's another one. They got a FAMU kid, another lineman, Cardell Thomas.
That's the Mules. The Mules.
Oh, is it the Mules?
It is
Red Donkeys, Mules, whatever you want to call it. But they are making some heavy moves right now in the transfer portal.
It's got to be.
Jaden Nixon went to Central Michigan.
It's got to be. It's got to be the Neil.
I forgot.
It's got to be
They're
the
Western
Neil.
Michigan. I forgot about that. I forgot Jaden Nixon left. Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Who's their running back?
No,
not Ollie, but I'm talking about behind Ollie.
I don't know who's behind Ollie. I haven't looked at that. We haven't previewed the Big 12. But hey, let's go ahead and preview the Big 10.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
We get to it.
The Big 10.
Sorry, I was looking at the portal.
Wow, Indians fall. Wow.
Yay!
Cool. Wow.
I'm sorry you have 3 losses in a row. You really want to talk about it? You really want to get into the losses?
No.
Okay, because the White Sox have how many?
Doesn't matter.
I think it does
Shit,
matter. We are
baseball.
going for a record. So.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it. I think everybody. Obviously, you look at the preseason coaches poll. You've got Ohio State number 2. You've got Oregon right there at number 3 or 4, depending on who it is.
And I think we both have Oregon better than Ohio State.
No, we
you've
have
got
them
them tied.
We have
You've
them
got.
tied.
I have one better.
We have
I
them
got
tied.
them one better game.
I did pick Oregon to beat. So let's talk about Ohio State. I did pick Oregon to beat them because it's at home.
Correct.
I thought that was the one win, and then I think Oregon turns around and loses. Oregon turns around and loses to. No, I don't think so. Oregon loses.
Sorry
to,
about the giant blowing
No,
sound.
who was that? Who'd Oregon lose to?
Oh, I've got them lose. You have them losing to Michigan. I've got them randomly. Oh, I don't have them losing anything. You have them losing to Michigan.
You have Oregon undefeated.
Yep.
Oh, well, you're nuts.
No, I'm not. They got fucking. They got OU boy.
Gabriel.
Yeah, you've got a very experienced quarterback coming in,
And that's not.
and I'll say with probably a better offensive line than he had last year.
Oh well, from comparable to OU, man, I don't know about OU. It looks like Guyton's doing really well at.
But what I'm
Dallas.
saying is from
No,
last
I
year,
think he's gonna have.
last year's offensive line. OU's last year.
I've told you what I thought about Gabriel. I think everything is great about him. I think he's limited. I think he's hit the ceiling. That concerns me about Oregon overall. They potentially could go 2 or 3 losses. I just think I like them beating Ohio State because it's at home. It's going to be a huge game. In the quarterback for Ohio State, which is who is it?
Tyler Van Dyke.
Who is it now? God, that's the one thing we
Isn't
talked.
it Van Dyke?
We talked.
No, he went to Wisconsin. Son of a donkey! How come we don't know these kids anymore?
No, that was the one thing. That was the
Vulture,
one.
Hunter.
It's McCord. It's McCord.
Oh, McCord. What?
Yes.
Wait, who am I thinking?
God.
I'm thinking of Bugatti. What was that kid that went to OU that ended up at Georgia and then now he's.
No. McCord actually transferred. I'm sorry. All right. We look like fucking.
I thought it was Vergaretti.
No, it's.
Hold on, let me just.
Yeah,
get off
please,
this page.
please, yes, get off that thing. Look that up for me.
Oh my
Then I get a 24. It's like, give me a freaking, what I'm. It's Will Howard, God, from Kansas State. Duh.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's why I like that move. But I mean, there were some issues there at Kansas State. I mean, it's not like he was perfect.
Well, I mean, he was better than Adrian Martinez and still didn't get the start over him.
No, you're right about that.
Uh,
So Will Howard goes over there. Will Howard goes as a transfer there. Kansas State's quarterback that's coming in, I mean, they've got them picked towards the top of the Big 12, and they like that quarterback. It's just, I don't see Will Howard being that run and gun throw that you see from the C.J. Stroud-ish type quarterback. They
I
fit
don't
that
think
same to you?
He does. He runs, but he's
No, but I mean
more
the
of a pocket.
throwing, yeah.
He's more of a pocket passer. Ew! Don't touch me. Your hair, gross. It's grody. So yeah, we picked Oregon and Ohio State at the top. Now the interesting pick that.
Let's go down the list.
Well, we got Illinois at 7, and we both have Illinois at 7.
Are you talking about wins?
Yeah, 7 wins.
Okay.
7 wins. We've got Indiana. You've got them 5. I've got them 6.
Okay. Bottom. Mid.
Yeah, mid. Iowa, we know they're going to have a mid-season collapse, late season. So you've got them at 9. I've got them at 8.
New offensive coordinator, which I like.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nua Fatsum
I
is
like them.
German for offensive coordinator.
I like them making a move there. They had to. It was one of the best defenses and one of the worst offenses.
Maryland will probably be one of the surprise teams. 7 wins for you, 8 wins for me.
Potentially.
Now, you gave Michigan 10-win season. I gave him 8.
Okay, let's talk about Michigan real quick.
Right, we
New
both
coach.
we got him. Yes, and he's lost a lot of players. He's brought a lot in.
Well, let's talk about the new developments that we've had recently with the
We do
violations.
have, yes, but does anybody care? Can the NCAA actually do anything anymore?
Probably not.
I mean, because used to it was if you were a coach and you got caught violating,
this
and
was
then
all-
you left the program, you were wherever you went,
A show cause type
you
deal.
were still suspended. You were
Yes,
still.
I mean, you know,
And with Harbaugh, he is well. Now he's not implicated in any of this,
ugh.
so I think he got off scot free. And it's just the two guys,
It's
two
the
or
head
three,
coach now. Yes.
and the head coach now that
But
are.
no, I mean, Harbaugh's involved. I mean, Partridge, Harbaugh, Robinson, and
Yeah, but Harbaugh's acting like he
and
didn't.
Stallions,
He has no idea
they
what's
are
going on.
they are committing level 1 violations, and I think that essentially what they're saying is they knew about the Stallions deal, being on the sideline, dressed up, giving codes.
But
and
is
then-
is it that the NCAA can even do anything about it? Does it even matter?
Oh shit! I don't know. Who knows? I don't. They're a joke anyway. It's a joke. We've already talked about this. Ad nauseam.
That's the issue.
But
That's
I
the
guess
issue.
they could
Take a
take the trophy
scholarship.
away and the national championship, but
Oh,
then
they'll just give it back to you in
back in
5
20
to
years,
10
like they
years.
did Bush and the USC team, because now by then text messaging illegally will be fine.
Right.
So they're going to bring it back.
Right. Once we get into signal stealing is okay.
It's a joke. The NCAA's a joke.
Right.
I mean, why do you have rules for? I mean, it's a free for all anyway. So why the fuck does it matter? I mean, it's just stupid.
I think this is one of our biggest separations is Michigan State.
Yeah,
You took Michigan State with 7 wins. I only gave them 2. That's a whole new program coming in. They lost a ton of players. They lost a lot.
They did, but I like their coach.
I get it, but it's going to take a couple of years for him to get back on to get that program back on its feet.
No, hold on.
After what it just went through.
I liked. I thought the schedule somewhat worked out well for them.
No.
If you look, I mean, look at the wins that I picked. I mean, Jonathan Smith leaves Oregon State. He was 34-35. I know that sounds crazy, but 3 bowl wins at Oregon State, which is a trash program. It's a hard program to win at, not a trash program. It's a hard program to win at.
Well, it's very difficult.
And he probably would have stayed if he could have, but I mean, you know, Michigan State overpays. They always do. So, I mean, you look at some of the losses.
They gave Mel Tucker that huge contract after one season.
year. Yeah. So talk about some of the losses you had and the wins I had, and I can discuss.
FAU.
Okay, Florida Atlantic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And that's a Friday
Tom Herman, I
game. That's a
believe.
Friday game. That's the August 31st.
I
I
believe
think
that's
it's week
Tom
0.
Herman. Is that or Florida Atlantic's Tom
Yeah, I
Herman?
think it's. So you gave him a win. I gave him a loss there.
So that's 50-50.
Okay, and so Maryland, they're losing Maryland. Now you say it's Prairie View. I say it's Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland University.
Prairie View A&M, yes.
They win that game. Now Boston College, I gave them a loss there. Even as bad as Boston College is, I think Boston College is still a better program than the current Michigan State program. You gave them a win.
Well, I think that Hafley left. He became the coordinator at the Broncos, and he left late in the year, so that probably hurt some of the recruiting. And I thought that now they have a good quarterback still. I like Boston College's quarterback. I think it's like.
But that's what I'm saying.
Stalon,
It's
or something like
still
that.
a better program.
I'm not sure it's a better program. I just think they're both got new coaches, and I think that Smith's got a head start.
Michigan State lost a lot. Michigan State lost a ton.
Well, I mean, they did have some transfers, and
They had a lot. That's what I'm saying. They lost a lot of kids. So he's having to rebuild that, almost like Venables when Venables came in.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's going to have his work ahead of him, and I think he's the right guy. I don't know who took over Boston College, to be honest.
I don't remember. Let's see. Oregon State, let's lost. Ohio State, or Oregon lost. Ohio State lost. Now you gave him a win at Iowa, and I gave him a loss at Iowa.
Well, and
you put that part of the Iowa midseason.
I had
collapse.
to. Yes, I had to have Iowa just blow one. Wasn't it at Michigan State?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I picked that. Yes.
You pick home teams for a lot.
I do.
Okay.
It is, you know.
You gave him a win in Indiana, and I gave him a loss in Indiana.
Okay, so I could see that. I mean, either way, that's a 50-50 game too.
Now, Rutgers, you also gave them a win, and I gave them a loss at Rutgers, and this Rutgers team is supposed to be
better. I'm not going to say good.
Lights out,
but
better than they were last year,
I think
year before.
I think they're going to be very close to bowl eligible. Rutgers is potentially 7 wins.
You give Rutgers 5 wins.
I said there's a potential though.
But I gave them 8 wins.
Yes, that's what I said. That's my point. Potential. I'm just saying I didn't pick them that way.
I think that was, but yeah, Michigan State was our biggest difference. Now, UCLA.
And I had them, 7 wins?
7 wins.
Yeah.
I had 2.
Might be a little high.
No, with Northwestern, we both gave them 2 wins. You did give Purdue 2 more wins than I did. You get 3. I gave them 1.
They're going to struggle this year.
Yeah, they're going to struggle mightily. Now we've got the new kids coming in.
Well,
we've got Oregon, which is going to do
fine. The 2 teams from LA, right?
Yes. So USC, UCLA, and Wazoo are coming in. The problem is that Oregon's going to come in and just just keep playing football. USC is going to hit that wall because those Big Ten defenses, though not SEC level defense,
you're going to see a lot more Utah every week than you did in the Pac-12.
Right.
And what did Utah do to USC?
Beat them.
Dominated them.
Beat them every year, didn't
yes.
they? Beat them every time they played.
Dominated them.
What have you done to that?
I don't know.
Kenny?
Hold on. Working on this. Hey, good evening.
Yeah, you opened up.
Oh, right there. Okay.
No, just you should just click. Hit that bottom?
Hold on, we're having some.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
Sorry, he just keeps touching. It's a touch screen, and he just keeps fiddling.
I love it.
I love fiddling.
I love it.
Now, we have our middle of the roads, which, of course, includes Maryland. It includes Nebraska. Which
I think that's the biggest surprise teams right now is Illinois and Nebraska.
Illinois is
play each other.
Wisconsin, remember Wisconsin,
is
Nebraska are in their second year with their new coaches.
I love Luke
Fickell.
Luke Fickell. I love that hire.
And Matt Rule coming into Nebraska.
I love that hire too. And I think those 2 programs right there. And then you got Brett Bielema at Illinois, who's also a good coach.
He did fine last year.
He did better last year. I'm trying to see those are the 3 teams I want to watch, see improvement, and then I just feel that we're going to see a disapprovement or a more losing for USC, UCLA. I think they're going to struggle mightily.
Washington could also.
Washington will be interesting too. Yes, and Washington lost a lot. You said they did, and they did lose a lot. I mean, there's a lot of players there that they've lost. OU actually picked up one of their guards. I mean, they had a mass exodus of people that they lost.
Yeah, Will Rogers went there as their quarterback, and Teddy Purcell's right behind him.
And Will's talented, but he also played in former Leach's system. So how talented is he? Because when their coach last year, he kind of kept that same system for Will. Will played for Leach. He started as a freshman, I believe.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
He was at. I thought he went over to A&M, didn't he?
No.
He was at Ole Miss or
no, just Mississippi State
the whole time.
Right to Washington. Yes.
So you have an experienced quarterback coming in.
It is. It's just going to be the system. Now Fish plays a lot like that, but Fish at Arizona had the running quarterback. Fertitta. We were supposed to look that up. Furtada.
Fritters. Yeah, I can't remember what that kid's
he beat OU and the damn.
Well, we did that on our own. That was everybody was not there. We had a lot of guys out.
Well, they always do that, though. I mean,
if it's not a playoff game, it's just nobody
cares. Bowl games are just drama, right? Just
that's all they are. Does anybody even care?
Fafita. Noah
Fafita.
Yes.
So yeah, does it matter? Does bowl games even matter? Is a lot of the question now.
God,
he's from HB.
He's a sophomore. You talk about the money coming out when he has an okay year this year. He's transferring.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Put it down as one of the big timers. I think. I'm surprised he didn't already. And maybe Arizona's got.
They're going to give him one more year.
Maybe the Boise coach is great. Who knows?
We're going to see what happens. Give him one more year.
All right, so we agree that it's Oregon, Oregon,
Or
Ohio
well,
State.
no,
I mean, it's about the same.
We do have our wild card of Penn State. Will they do their collapse? Will they actually?
Will they find an offense?
Will Franklin get over that hump?
They can't find an offense. It's ridiculous.
But that's the biggest question in the Big Ten is what. Whenever Penn State goes up against a top
they don't
25
they
team,
lose.
a top 10 team, they lose.
And they don't bother me as much because I think they're going to be that 9-3, 9-3.
We both have them at 10.
Okay, 10-2.
10, yeah.
Okay.
Which
is a great year for them.
Yeah, the issue is that they have West Virginia, Bowling Green, Kent State with a bye week there, and then they go into Illinois, UCLA, USC.
USC's an interesting travel.
Yes, but you're back into your schedule. You end up with Wisconsin, Ohio State, Washington, Purdue, Minnesota, Maryland.
And you got and you
so your gauntlet is literally.
But you do get
literally if we want to include it, your gauntlet's going to be USC.
Bye week, but bye week
with
though,
a bye week
with
a bye week.
That's huge for them.
To Washington, that's going to be your gauntlet.
If you beat USC, you potentially could be setting, and I'm talking Penn State could be setting at 7-0.
Right. So they don't have
six.
they do not have a Wisconsin
Six.
Or they do not have a Nebraska.
Could be 6-0.
They do not have
Oregon.
An Iowa.
They don't have
an Oregon.
You know, their toughest. I mean, you're looking.
But that's what I'm saying. From
their schedule is favorable.
Yeah. It's possible they lose at Illinois if Belima can get it together, but I don't think they do.
Ohio State, they get them at home, so it's going to be Happy Valley. Promise you that'll be a night game.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Because Fox always puts.
And they'll have USC. That's right before their bye week, so they play UCLA at home. So then they travel out there.
Yeah, it would have been better if you just had both of them away or both of them home. So that way you just
keep them
stay there.
But no, and then I think.
But I mean, you got a travel week and then you've got a bye week, so you're fine.
But I think their schedule after that, they play Washington at home. They go to Purdue.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the gauntlet. The gauntlet is the Wisconsin, Ohio State, Washington.
That's why I got them at 10 wins. I thought they had one of the more favorable schedules, to be honest.
Yeah, they do. And like I said, we both.
That's why I got them at 10 wins, and I think their offense is going to be very average, as it has generally been under. What's his name? I'm drawing blank. Their coach.
James Franklin.
Yeah.
James Franklin. Franklin.
Franklin.
All right, is that it? Is that what we're going to end on? I mean,
yeah, that's we're going to finish up.
That was a quick Big Ten. F you. Get out of here.
Well, I think that's about it. I mean, we talked about the surprise teams we want to see up here on the board. Illinois, Michigan State, we're very different on. We'd like to see.
We need to write the numbers up.
We would like to see what Wisconsin and Nebraska does also. I
mean, right, there's some very good middle of the pack teams.
You should see a big difference with those coaching
that can excel. Now remember, they got rid of divisions as well.
Correct.
So one giant. So are they 14-16?
Do what? I think they're 16.
16. So one big conference, so they're taking top two to their.
And you're looking at Oregon, Ohio State again playing.
Right.
So, and that's another thing.
See a rematch.
Well, and that's another thing to talk about is does the conference championships, do they start playing in effect if they start getting rid of those so they don't lose teams in that 12? Like we've always talked about how many conferences have been screwed by losing their conference championship to get in the BCS or the Final Four. Now we're talking about the 12.
Nebraska did it. I think OU did it.
Well, now we're talking about the Final 12, but now you don't have that easy. I think that some conference people would like to have the divisions back because you're rolling up a 12-1 Ohio State against a 6-5 Purdue. They beat them. Or let's say a 7-5 Purdue, they beat them in the conference championship. They're in. Well, the only thing wrong is them losing. But winning, they're still in.
An issue that you look at this.
But now you put the top two back in.
How many games does NCAA play? 12. You're looking at a possibility that they could all just play in-house and not have any non-conference.
Because you're automatically assuming that they're just going to make the playoffs longer or bigger.
Right, and then they end up with a mini playoff. inside of that.
Yeah, but you've got a lot of colleges right now that have to have that money to survive, and that's always been
that's the lower. But
that's been the critical thing.
And that's one of the issues
whole,
with the outside the Power Five with the other five or whatever they call them.
Yes, correct.
And and if the ACC does end up collapsing like it looks like it might, this might be their golden year, their end.
The who? The ACC?
The ACC.
I don't think they're going to collapse.
You're looking at 10 teams wanting to leave. What they could actually do is be smart and absorb the AAC
Combine
to keep that, pull those guys in, try to get,
Well, SMU started that, though.
I know.
SMU started. But I don't know, I'm going back to you look at the conference championships, now you're taking the top teams, and you potentially could be damaging their shots at getting in.
Well, now you just damage their positioning.
But hold on, that's exactly the right. And now you actually encourage, or you benefit your conference to get them in, because playing at Purdue doesn't help you at all. It gets you in, but it doesn't get you up in the scale.
Yeah, because we're going off.
Now, if
we're
Oregon,
going off PFR.
What would you say? Or you said Oregon went undefeated.
Yeah.
And that was your prediction. Let's say Ohio State plays Oregon in the championship, and they beat them, then both are in anyway.
Yeah, both are in.
Yeah.
But
if Ohio State loses twice to Oregon, are they still in?
But we're also going by power of schedule. We're going by what this team did this season.
Oh, we still have the committee though.
But they take those metrics into.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying.
You could have a scrappy team with a lot of heart that's lost a majority of their games.
Yeah, but how many
you don't get that high win metric because you beat them.
When we have the conferences, though, you have to recall that some of the championship games are pretty lame because of one team's way over here, and the Big Ten is the perfect example. Like we're talking about tonight, there was a lot of. I think Northwestern might have made the championship one year and got annihilated. Purdue,
they did.
Remember those teams? Iowa was a
Wisconsin
lot of losses. Because it was always
Wisconsin's gotten run over.
It was always Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, essentially. Penn State not so much, but
I don't think Nebraska.
But
I mean, we're looking at the coaches poll. We look at the top 15. It is all SEC Big Ten except outside of Florida State
and Clemson,
Notre Dame.
Well, and Clemson.
Utah, Clemson. And, I mean...
well, we were talking about the points. I mean, they do the points by the draft. I mean, the highest ranked team before the big drop-off was Oklahoma at 16, had 609 points. The 15th team, Tennessee, had 621. 17th team, Kansas State, former Big 12 foe, had 416. So that means the points dropped off dramatically after
massively,
that.
Yeah.
And then even OSU was almost 60 points lower than that. After Kansas State at 18.
Yeah.
And then it just continues.
Yeah, from 17, the points in the coaches poll from 17 to 25 is about 300 points in difference.
Yeah, correct.
Whereas from 16 to 17 is almost 200 points.
And you've got, national champion runner-up Washington. No, they wasn't runner-up. They were, they were. Did Michigan beat them? Yeah, they were runner-up.
They were runner-up.
26 in the coaches poll right now.
Yeah, so they didn't even make it in. And you've got Florida State that went undefeated. They got shoved all the way down to number 10. Under Penn State. I don't understand. They should not be at number 10. I would put them probably here at 6.
Well,
Ole Miss hasn't proven anything.
Notre Dame is always interesting too.
I know. They love playing nail biter games.
I need to go back and look at their schedule. We need to preview them. We
should
should have previewed them to this one, but
yeah.
Anyway, all right, there it is. There's our picks.
The Big 10 kerfuffle.
Next week we'll talk about the Big 12.
Ooh, the Big 12.
Yes. And Tulsa. Just Tulsa. All right, moving on.
Wait, the Big 12 and Tulsa?
Promised, where are we at on time? We
Notre
talked about...
We're at 40,
okay,
39
we're
minutes.
good. All right, so we talked about... we're going to move to the NFL real quick. We're going to do the NFC and AFC South.
South, baby.
Let's do the South, our predictions. We talked about the North.
The South.
Last week, I think we both agreed on Detroit last week. If you want to go back, check out our podcast. Detroit, Green Bay.
No. Oh, how it landed?
Yeah,
it was Detroit,
Green
Green Bay,
Bay,
Chicago, Minnesota. And on the other side, it was Baltimore, Cincinnati. I think you and I kind of flipped on that.
There was some Pittsburgh in there that was a love affair, and I think you might have had Cleveland higher than I did, but I can't remember.
No.
Oh, we were
No. I had Cleveland lower.
Okay.
I had Pittsburgh one game over, but your darling little boy.
Oh, you were 9-8. I was 8-9.
Right. Your darling son had Pittsburgh at 11 wins because
Of course he did. All right. Let's do it. Let's do the NFC. We'll start with the NFC.
NFC.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
We're going right to Carolina. You know what that's going to be.
All right, so you've got the Tampa Bay Bucks, who've won it the last 3 years. You've got Atlanta, who's made big offseason changes. Obviously, the biggest is
they're
Cousins.
the biggest improvements.
They went after the quarterback.
As a whole team.
I don't know if that was the biggest improvements. And then they
I'm just saying them as a whole team.
Canales becomes from Tampa Bay. He's the offensive coordinator. He comes over as the head coach for Carolina, who won 2 games last year.
Oh man, it's sad.
And then you've got Carr and Dennis.
Dennis Allen is in his hot seat.
He's fired. He's done. He's
But
done.
they're still going to go 500. That's the issue.
I think he's done.
They're still going to go around 500.
Him and Dayball, who are both
Dayball
for the Giants, who are both badass.
Oh, I'm aware of Dayball.
I think they're one of the best coordinators when you break them down in positions. Some people just can't be good head coaches.
Right.
Now, I don't blame Dayball so much yet. Dennis Allen has had his shot twice. He was a Raiders coach, too, head coach. It failed but miserably both.
Wade Phillips, great coordinator.
Wade's a good one.
Terrible head
Norv
coach.
Turner.
Norv Turner. Lane
coach.
Kiffin's dad.
Old Bears coach.
Buddy Ryan.
No, he was never head coach.
I thought he tried. I thought he was.
What's that? Dave Wannstedt was a D coordinator for Dallas. Went to the Bears
Yeah.
and Miami. Just didn't work out as great as it should have.
Vic Fangino.
1 year, yeah. Well, he had one shot. I kind of like to give them at least a couple. No, he was only a head coach once, and that was for Denver, and it went horribly. But they had a shit team.
Yeah,
though,
but
too.
you knew that going over there, he wasn't going to.
All right, let's talk about the NFC. Let's just start with the bottom.
Carolina.
Okay, Carolina.
That's what I
Last
said.
year, 2-14. Dave Canales.
This
new
year,
coach.
we have them doing no better.
Now, Jonathan Brooks was the draft pick, tore his ACL. He's coming in. The one thing I really want and I'm not going to talk about that word, the GT, the generational talent, but I really like the Leggett pickup from South Carolina, the wide receiver for Carolina. Watch him if Bryce Young can get.
Yeah, they'll sell him.
If he can
they'll
throw
sell him. They'll sell him in a few years.
You know, if they can throw it.
They don't have a running back, do they?
I like Brooks. He's coming back from the injury. I like Jonathan Brooks. He's actually.
Oh, that's right. He went out last year.
Yes, he went out. But 32nd pick. But I got him winning how many, Sean?
Two.
Two.
We both have two.
Two.
I don't think their offensive line, their defensive line.
That's the problem.
There's a lot of questions.
The trenches are bad for them.
Yeah.
Now the NFL
secondary. I don't know what they brought back in secondary.
Now the NFL though, you could. There's randomness that you could win a game here or two, but we have two. So.
Yeah, I don't think we really. My win was one at New Orleans. And
you did a split.
I did. Let's see. A win with the Chargers and a win at New Orleans. Your win was Denver and
Denver's trash.
New York Giants. Well, I got that, but, Denver's got to win a game because I think we have them losing a lot of games.
All right, so obviously we're going to put Carolina last. Let's talk about the third place prediction. We both have New Orleans.
Yep. 8-7. Well, you have them 8. I've got them 7.
Okay.
And Atlanta 8, and I have them 8.
So New Orleans, you have 8 wins.
7 wins for New Orleans.
Okay.
You have both Atlanta and New Orleans at 8 wins.
Okay, so I have a problem. I love Chris Olave. I think he's one of the best.
Right.
He's great. They did get Chase Young.
They did.
I like that pickup. That was a good pickup.
It was a very random pickup.
Yes. But Carr, I wanted to be so.
You were in love with him.
I know.
You were in love with him when we started this podcast.
And he just keeps just disappointing.
And I told you that's what he was going to do.
Over and over.
He might have pretty eyes, but he just cannot figure out a defense.
All right, let's go second
to
place.
save his life.
Let's go second place. Dennis Allen's fired, by the way. That's
All right, so
fine.
you're going to put Atlanta over New Orleans.
Yes.
Because like I said, they're both 8 and 8.
Yes. 8 and 9, you meant.
No, I have
Pardon?
them at
17
7.
games.
I have them at 7.
And I have 8 and 9.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So
And the reason why
I do have Atlanta over New Orleans.
You do. I have them tied.
Physically.
I do.
You have them tied, but so you're
But
taking,
over, actually, because I think they won the heads up. But
Well, I mean,
the reason
that
that
we're going to get to first place, and it's not that far out.
So the one game that I picked a little differently than probably most prognosticators would is I took the Vikings to beat Atlanta.
Yeah, you took a revenge game.
It was kind of a revenge game because it's at the Vikings,
Mm-hmm.
and Kirk Cousins goes back home, and I think the team plays. And I think it wasn't that a little later in the year for that game.
Minnesota,
Sean?
yeah, it's week 14.
Yeah, okay, so
It's week 14. It's at Minnesota, although Atlanta is coming off 2 weeks off a bye.
yeah, so they also had a late bye.
Yes. Yeah, they had a week 12 bye.
Yes, which is a little late, so you can get some
We're not-
losses as you get into that 10. All right, I have Tampa going number 1.
There's a team that when we get into it, we have a love affair with them right now, and we just cannot get over it.
What's that?
I don't know, but they might be winning the AFC or NFC East.
Oh, we're talking about Washington?
Yeah.
Yes, Washington is.
We-
Get ready for that conference picks because that's going to be tough. Because you know my feelings about some quarterbacks in that league.
Well,
or
we
that
all know
division.
that. Yeah, we
And,
know where we're putting the Giants. But
yes, that's a fact.
So-
no, so I like Tampa. Okay, so what they done? Here's the.
so we're just going right to first place.
Yeah, we're going right to
Okay,
first
so
place, but not
we both-
much.
yeah, we both have them picked at 9 wins.
Yes.
So it's not
So
like
they were 9 and 8, kind of like what they've been the last 3 years. So they re-signed.
staying at 500, making it into the playoffs.
They
as the
re-signed
conference
Baker.
champion.
They re-signed Evans.
You brought in Sterling
Shepard. He's a practice guy, but I really like what they've done on the offensive line. They've tried to improve that a little bit. Vita Vea got a new contract. Obviously, running back's going to be key, and tight end.
New offensive coordinator.
But that's what I was getting ready to say. That's the key to all that. Dave Canales left, went to be the offensive coordinator. Nothing against him. I thought he did really well quarterback-wise. Liam Cohen was at the Rams. Then he went to Kentucky, then the Rams, then back to Kentucky. He's the one that made Will Levis a first-round pick, or was he early second? I can't remember.
Second.
He fell, didn't he?
Yeah, he fell.
But anyway, so bringing him back from the Rams, I thought was a huge pickup. So I like that. Rashad Wright going to be the running back. I think and Tampa's got a tough schedule. I think we talked about Tampa's going to start out, folks. They're going to start out like 3 and 5 or something stupid.
We have
or
them
2 and 6.
We have them. Yes. So
I mean,
they have a
run
late.
down their.
They have a week 11.
Yes.
Week 11 bye.
Now run down their schedule.
So they are going to run a heavy. They have to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playoff team. 3 technically if you want to count Philly. 3 Super Bowl appearing teams.
That's correct.
So you start off with Washington. We gave them the win at Washington because it's the beginning of the season, and we know that
and it's at the Bucs.
we know that team's going to be.
Then you go to the Lions. You get a break with the Broncos.
Right,
And
and
you
from
go
there it's
Eagles, Falcons, which they have to win. They need.
They need to win. They need to win both the Atlanta and the New Orleans games, and not split those. But we have them splitting.
Yes, and then it goes Ravens, Falcons again, Chiefs,
and Niners.
Then they get a bye week.
Yeah.
But then after that, you've got Giants, Panthers,
Yeah, you
Raiders,
cruise until you get
Chargers,
to Dallas.
Dallas is interesting. That's a almost Christmas
And
game.
depending on what they're doing, Dallas could be a win. We got to see.
Be a little early for Dallas, I think. We talk about the NFC East coming up. They ain't going to be setting anybody. And then they finish the Panthers again in the Saints.
I'm not even talking about setting. I mean this
You're
Tampa,
talking about
this Tampa
schedule.
team. If
You're
Tampa,
you're
if
talking about-
Tampa's clicking and going into that Dallas with wins, there's a heavy chance. Remember, Tampa takes care of Dallas in the playoffs.
That's true.
So I don't understand why they. I know they
So the
struggled
Packers
during the regular
last year.
season. Yeah, they struggled with them in the regular season, and then they get into the playoffs, and Tampa just beats them. So we could look. You could possibly see Tampa at, I would say 11 wins as their ceiling.
A little high for me.
Well, it's 2 more wins than what we got.
10 is the best I think they do.
I got 11 as their ceiling. Their floor, man, they could screw a
7,
lot up.
7.
Yeah, they could end up.
Well,
they could end up finishing second,
it really depends.
third.
Well, no, I mean
to
it
Atlanta.
depends on Atlanta. That's what I was going to say because I mean Raheem Morris comes in, coach, comes from Atlanta. I mean they still have Zach Robinson's the OC. Kudos to Zach for the old OSU quarterback, Oklahoma State quarterback. But you still have Algier. You still have Bijan. They improved the line.
I don't care about Bijan.
But
you have some really good receivers.
But they
You've got
improved the line,
Drake.
too.
You've got.
But can Cousins stay healthy? And that's
Right.
all they're banking on. But then you've got Penix. Do you throw him in?
Well,
I mean,
he's the insurance. And,
Yes, he is the insurance.
Your son Daxton asked me about this. I was like, he goes, why the hell did they take Penix? And I was
future.
like, insurance.
Cousins is a 2-year guy.
I
Look
know.
at his contract.
You're paying him.
His third year, and fourth, it's pretty much you can get rid of him.
Right.
Yes.
Like I said, it's Jay Cutler.
It's
2.0.
definitely heavy.
So, yeah, there's a possibility. I got Tampa's ceiling at 11 and their basement 7.
I could see that. Not quite 11, but I could
Carolina's ceiling's probably 5.
see 7. Yeah, I could see that.
I could give Atlanta
9.
I could
9
give
or 10
Atlanta
for Atlanta,
10.
and then same for the
New Orleans. Yeah, New Orleans
8 or
could do
9. Yeah.
The problem with that NFC South is they either get beat up or they beat up on each other.
Well, there's
they
all,
can't.
but you also think about it, though, is Cousins is the best quarterback in that division. I mean,
is.
on paper.
He is.
And
Statistically.
yes. But
And
then
you love statistics. You're
but
getting a
I
little
do.
chub right
No,
now.
I do, and he
You're
is.
getting a chub right
and
now.
he's got the best offense in that. But I just don't think the defense is there.
I just saw your
I
shirt.
think the new coach.
Still wearing it.
I think the new coach is very defensive coordinator, or very defensive. He's a defensive
Oriented?
coordinator, but oriented.
Oriented.
Whatever. But no, you're right. I mean, I think that's why.
Speaking hard.
I honestly think that Atlanta could have a higher upside than the 11. It depends on what Cousins does. But an Achilles injury, what do you come back from? You've seen.
Well, we've got that happening in New Jersey when we get to the Jets. So
It's going to be, yes, that's exactly what I was
We're
going to
looking
say. Is like what do you go too high? That's why I didn't go high on Atlanta.
what did Kyler come off of? Did he have an Achilles or knee?
I think he was an ACL.
Yeah, I think it was a knee.
Yeah.
I forgot who else. Somebody came back Achilles quarterback and did fine.
It's like Herbert, I've heard for the Chargers has plantar fasciitis.
But
It'll
it's
be in
just
a boot for a
tear
little
in the
while.
foot. It's just a foot.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder. Is it the beginning of something?
You know who else was a Charger that had plantar fasciitis all the time? It was a tight end. One of the best tight ends in the league.
Not Ben. Not Ben.
Ben.
Go ahead and tell me who it is.
You made me forget his name. Damn it.
I think it's Ben something.
Damn it. Rivers loved throwing to him.
Yeah, I know.
God, why do you keep saying Ben? I can't find my mouse.
So you were going with that.
And then you. What happened to Mike's?
Here we go. I can't hear you.
Oh no, it's still there.
Oh, it's Gates, Antonio Gates.
Yeah, Antonio Gates.
Yeah, gotcha.
Sorry, it
Who
leveled
was the Ben guy? Was it maybe he was in the Patriots that I'm thinking of? Is
Rob Gronkowski?
no, before him, Ben Coates maybe.
Oh, Ben Coates.
Is
yeah.
that who I'm thinking of?
Is he tight end? Still on the transfer
Let's
portal.
see, American football player. Oh, there he is right there, and he is a tight end. Yes, Ben Coates.
Okay.
That's who I was thinking of for Chargers. I was off. All
I
right,
don't know why.
there we go. Let's move on.
Did he play there?
No, I don't think he did.
Primarily for the
He was always the New England.
Baltimore. He went to Baltimore.
Oh, for a minute. Yeah, Ben Coates.
Yeah.
Bum. Now, everybody, as we move on to the AFC South, everybody says the hardest division. I mean, what is everyone saying at the hardest division? Or the most...
What's the North?
The division.
That's AFC North.
Okay, and we talked about them.
And the...
Do you think that, though,
NFC East.
Okay. So now when you look at this one, though...
They became a very hard division last year.
No, it's AFC. Yeah, AFC North. That's always what
Well,
everyone...
no, but the AFC South became a very hard division.
Not really but I think because of injuries it didn't.
Until Colts quarterback
Richardson went out.
Richardson,
yes.
and then Moss went out.
Yes, and then
Gardner Minshew was still winning games.
Yes, who's the new quarterback of the Raiders, which will be
Yes.
interesting when we talk about them. So I was thinking when we talked about this, we were picking it because we picked the AFC North last week, and you're thinking it probably is statistically the best one. Still, I mean, it is the hardest one. I'm a little down on the Browns. I'm a little down on the Steelers. I'm way high on the Bengals. Some are different. It just depends. But then you look at the AFC South, though, and you've got Indianapolis, an all-star quarterback, if he can stay healthy. You've got Houston, C.J. Stroud,
Great.
potential MVP this year.
Oh, you're going to see your server boy, Jacksonville?
Jacksonville. I signed a huge contract, one of the highest-paid quarterbacks now.
'Cause you love
Didn't
him.
stay healthy. He's got some health
love him.
issues there.
Like you signed. That's why I'm worried about.
But Trevor, they did sign Gabe Davis.
What's his nuts that just signed the big contract and everybody's up on it, and I'm like, well, he's probably gonna get injured.
Gabe Davis, they signed from Buffalo, which was the second best wide receiver there. They still have, and that's the thing about I never thought they struggled in
Who?
the wide receiver department. Jacksonville.
Oh,
yeah.
they let Calvin Ridley go.
That's the one. But I liked Watson. I liked not Zay Flowers, but what was it? Zay something.
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones. They got Hunter from the Vikings, Danielle Hunter.
Uh-huh.
And I know Danielle's not that. No, that was Houston. Back up. They have they drafted Ben Thomas was the one that I was thinking of. Daniel Hunter is Houston, and that's what I'm telling you. They've gotten so much better. But we'll go back. Let's talk about Jacksonville. Or actually, you want to talk about the last place team because I'm sure
Tennessee Titans, who we have as last place, and you give them 2 wins. I give them 3. They don't
That's bad, though.
They don't have the easiest.
But you know what I thought about?
You've got to go to Buffalo, turn around and go to Detroit. You've got Indianapolis that coming in early bye week. You got a week 5 bye. You come up. You start out Chicago, Jets, Green Bay, Miami. So you've got one with a rookie,
That's a bench.
unknown
Bench
rookie
him
coming
schedule.
in to open the season.
New coach too,
You've got
Callahan for Tennessee.
right, but then you've got the Jets, and we don't know is Aaron Rodgers, what he's going to do because he was injured last year. Then you end up with Green Bay, and then go to Miami, and if your defense is not ready for either one of those teams, just Jordan Love, that's who I'm thinking of. He's going to get injured.
Okay.
Then you have an early bye week, which really, really, I hate early buys, but it ends up screwing them over.
Yes.
You go and you've got Indianapolis, you go to Buffalo, you go to Detroit, you get a reprieve with New England because we are way down on New England.
Yes.
I'm still down on the Chargers. You're not. But then you've got the Chargers, Minnesota, and then you've got Houston, Washington, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Indy, Jacksonville, Houston.
That's tough.
Yeah,
That's why we have them low, but also
you brought in you've got DeAndre Hopkins, you brought in Calvin Ridley.
Yes. Now I want to talk about the additions for the defense though. You brought
Your
in
running backs are now.
you brought in L'Jarius Sneed, Chidobe Awuzie, Diggs, Jamal Adams, Kenneth Murray from OU,
right.
Devondre Sweat, Denard Wilson's the new DC, and then they signed. Obviously, I said Quandre Diggs as a safety. I think those are all better. I also, though, think how much
New
are they
team.
great?
New
There's
team.
nobody great on that.
I know, but it's new team. It's the gelling.
It
You
all
gotta
comes.
get everybody.
No Derrick Henry.
No
obviously.
Derrick Henry.
You got Tony
You say
Pollard.
Cam Akers.
We saw Tony Pollard be
Yeah.
the star running back. Didn't work out real well. But yeah, no Derrick Henry, and Ridley comes in, and I like the Ridley Hopkins, but it's really going to be all about Will Levis.
They also got Mason Rudolph.
Oh, they did.
We forgot about that.
Yeah. But no, I mean, and then Malik Willis, who's third string.
Hassan Hoskins.
But no, I mean, that's it.
Spears was not horrible.
It's just not going to be a good. I mean, you're going to miss now. Bringing Brian Callahan in, they're not the force the run.
Remember they brought in Tyler Boyd as well.
Yeah, they did, but they're not. I think they're fine at wide receiver, but they're going to have that Will Levis make them win to throw that ball to them.
He's got
That's
those
the
pretty
problem.
arms.
He does, but I mean, we've
pretty
seen
arm.
the accuracy though too, and plus he's still a youngster when it comes to NFL.
That's second year, so
Yeah.
And he started.
But the sweat.
Did he start how many games? 5?
The sweat pick was good, and I also, they needed an offensive tackle, and they took Latham early, kind of like what the Chargers did with Alt. I mean, they took an offensive line, so
you needed to.
But I still have him last, unfortunately.
All right. Now we go to what do we have? All three teams are right here next to each other.
Jacksonville, number 3.
We have a weird. Well, mine and yours are switched. So you have Indianapolis in second position,
I
and
do.
Jacksonville in third.
Oh, and you're
I have
vice versa.
one game. It's by one game.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I've got Jacksonville by one game over Indiana.
Gotcha.
And these two teams could swap.
Sure.
Again, you need your quarterback. Is he going to be injury riddled?
Trevor has to stay healthy. Wasn't last year, obviously.
But Indianapolis needs their quarterback.
But let me go back to talk
stay
about
healthy.
because I said that too early. But you've got Gabe Davis from Buffalo. You've got Brian Thomas Jr., LSU wide receiver they picked after Neighbors. He was obviously the first one. O-line's just not good. I don't think their D-line's that good. I think that's you still got.
They're serviceable. That's the problem. They're not. There's no superstars. There's no.
Now the Mitchell pickup and
this is Indianapolis.
What was the other?
You talking?
No, go to
Jacksonville?
No, yeah, go to
Indy?
Jacksonville. Go to
Yeah.
Jacksonville. I've got a Donnie Mitchell picked up. Actually, I thought that was a really good pickup. What was their draft pick for Jacksonville? I really thought they had one that really stood out that I didn't write it.
Brian Thomas Jr.
It was Brian. It was Brian Thomas. That's who it was. And
They got a late Jordan Jefferson.
Defensive tackle from LSU. That was a 4th round. So they took 2 defensive tackles. And you look what they're trying to improve on was the trenches.
Oh yeah, they're definitely. But
Javen Foster from Missouri was an O tackle. They took an edge guy from Texas Tech. So they know that's what's going to be their problem. Period. Yeah. They've got talent all around that. Coach is super sharp when it comes to offense, but
hey, don't forget they picked up Mac Jones.
I just don't think that's right in a weird trade.
Mac Jones was drafted over Trevor Lawrence, wasn't he?
But I mean, it's almost yeah, he was after. It's almost the line though. The lines concern me a little bit for them. That's why but I like the skill positions there.
Yeah, because you're trying to get Etning going, and he's one of the best running backs.
Wide receivers, Sean, is Watson's.
Well, you got Elijah Cooks.
Kirk. Sorry, that's what I meant.
You
I was saying
Elijah
Christian
Cooks.
Watson. That's Green Bay. It's Christian Kirk. That's my fault. And I like him.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Yes.
And
then that's the rookie. Did Zay Jones go down a little bit? Oh, he did.
Oh, he did.
Oh,
boy. Didn't he?
That's news to me. Let's check it out.
Where were we? We slept
Arizona. That's right.
Oh, we slept on that one.
We can't keep up on that. Well, no wonder they drafted Robinson and then took.
That's right. They lost their wide receiver. Their main 2 wide receivers, and Kurt was the only one that stayed.
Yep. Because Ridley's out too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Money.
All right, and then second place.
Well, like I said, I've got it. It's one game. So Indianapolis, their team is going to depend on the health of their quarterback and his improvements in his second year coming off injury. Are we okay?
Yeah, we're good. Got some good gossip, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay. They have an easier schedule. I mean, they've got a Green Bay, Chicago, Pitt. Problem with Indianapolis, late bye. Now, granted, Jacksonville's is 12, but they've got that Week 14 bye. So they're going to be going.
Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl with Brady as a Week 13 bye. It's possible.
Okay, but
but you see them struggle when you get close to it.
You
10, 11, 12 weeks are losses.
You have a mix. You have a mix of hard.
Who's their
and easy.
games in 11 and 12, 13? That's the whole point. You look at those.
But that's okay. So Indianapolis is 11, 12, 13 is the Jets, Detroit, and New England.
Ugh. Well,
But what
New England looks like a breeze.
But what I'm saying is,
but you can see the Jets. You can see the Jets being a bad loss.
But their schedule is mixed of really hard and easy. So you've got Houston, Green Bay, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Miami, Houston, Minnesota, Buffalo, the Jets, Detroit, New England, and then you hit your bye. You see what I'm saying? You've got that mix of hard and easy going through there. And then you finish out your season with Denver, Tennessee, Giants, and Jacksonville. So you've got what can be considered a cake ending.
If you can get to that 11, 12, 13.
But yeah, you got to get there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Jets game's going to be really important there.
Well,
because, I mean, you can lose to Detroit and go, okay, it's a Detroit. They should still be good.
But you've
got to beat New England. You can't fuck that one up.
And I've got them losing to the Jets.
You're right. I mean, that's a potential right there.
I mean, I've actually got them losing. They're going like a 2-win, 2-loss, 2-win, 2-loss, 2-win, 2-loss type thing. So, Indianapolis and Jacksonville have. I think we kind of have a picked at their ceiling. I would say 11 is probably each team's ceiling. You do have Indianapolis picked at 12, but
that's a ceiling pick, though. I really like Richardson.
I know,
from what
but
I've
he's
seen.
got to stay healthy.
And he's not done anything to really show us that. I just thought it was really great. So,
it was the coach, and that was Stanicki.
Steichen.
I can't remember the names.
All right, let's talk about the potential Super Bowl.
Well, the surprise that we had last year picked at 2 wins and came in and
we
went
Houston
right
at 2
to
wins?
Yeah, we had 2-3 wins last year. We were
Shows how
not
good we are.
were not kind to the new coach. He was a brand new coach. He'd never been a head coach. You had a rookie quarterback.
What was their wins last year? I had it wrote down. What were they? 12 and 5? Is that what it was? So I want to talk about, as you look that up, Houston. I mean, this is a team that potentially, and I'm not saying they will, this is a team that potentially could unseat the Chiefs as the best team in the NFL. And the reason I say this is they got better.
They did nothing but make improvements.
So they got
come on now, spit it out.
Mixon.
You need to stay off your damn
They got
phone.
no. I was watching. No, shut up. They got Mixon.
No, you shut up.
They got Mixon, Diggs, and they got Hunter. So Hunter from the tight end from Minnesota. I said that earlier. I misspoke and said it was a different team, but it was Daniel Hunter from Minnesota. Mixon's huge. That's a huge pickup.
10-7 was last year.
Yeah, 10-7. So I thought Mixon was a huge pickup because that was kind of one of their areas that I thought that they were the worst. I thought that Stroud had to run a little bit. I thought, what would they have, Moss last year? And Singletary? Trash.
Moss wasn't there, was it?
Was it Moss? Who was it? Singletary and somebody else, wasn't it?
In Houston?
Yeah, I thought there was another run. Anyway, Mixon's going to improve that totally. Cincinnati just didn't want to pay him.
I know, but they said that he's had a tough.
But Diggs, I mean, you talk about now. I don't think he's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, but a lot of people think he's a top 5, and so we'll see what he does then.
British Brooks was.
But I thought Daniel Hunter was a huge pickup at tight end because I think that they still have Schultz. Correct? Is that right, Sean? If you go back down and look.
Yeah, they still have
Devin
Schultz.
Yes. But
they
you
also
still
Tank down.
Well, no, they have Tank.
Now, does he shoot himself or what?
No,
did he get shot by a 10-year-old?
No, one of Nico or Tank had an issue, but it wasn't a big deal.
It was a big deal. He got shot by a 10-year-old.
But he's fine. I mean, it's not a big fucking deal. He's going to be out. It's my whole point.
Oh, that's. Yeah.
But you got Schultz, and then you've got Tank. You've
Dalton
got
Schultz, not
Nico.
Dalton.
Now you've got Diggs.
Man, and I remember when Schultz was at
Dallas.
You just dogged on that kid until he came out and made C.J. Stroud look amazing, or Stroud made him look amazing. Because he was a check down. He was a go-to for a minute.
Offensive line's a bit young, but it wasn't an issue last year. I think Houston. He's
a great coach. You had a really
how
great
many
coach.
wins? How many? 13, 14 wins?
You and I both have. Oh, wait a minute. You have him at 15. I got him at 14.
Yeah, I think them and Detroit are going to be the two teams that look the best. Not saying they're going to finish the best. But they're coming in looking the best. That's my two teams.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that Houston's going to be a little above, maybe not above Kansas City, but right there.
Dude, I know Detroit's going to have a hell of a run game. And Jared Goff's got to get over that hump.
I think they will. All right, so that's an easy one. I mean, that was an easy.
That was.
It's going to be competitive, but I think it's easy to pick.
So.
Because Tennessee, I like Tennessee has made improvements. Will Levis, we talked so highly of him.
They won 6 games last season.
Will Levis, we talked high about.
Started.
A bunch of them. And I think we talked highly about Will Levis. My concern is that he has to be very good for that team to win games.
He has to be spot on.
And do you lose that Vrabel toughness? That was kind of a thing that defense always kept you in games, even when the offense sucked.
Oh, I know.
Now
you had what's his nuts, and
he's helping the Browns.
You were running.
He's helping the Browns now.
Who, Vrabel is?
Mm-hmm.
So they got Schwartz and Vrabel.
I don't know what his position or what he is.
Well, what I'm saying is they're just going to be great in defense and terrible in offense.
But I mean, if you get Chubb back, healthy,
oh man,
Deshaun Watson, another year in from. That's the coach of UCLA. I had him on my mind too.
Okay, so he ended up playing 9 games.
Yeah, and the stats aren't good.
What do you mean?
58%, 8 touchdowns.
He did 25 carries, 57 yards. He had a touchdown.
Yeah, but 8 and 4, longest sacked a bunch. Quarterback rating 32.
Well, and that was because they had a terrible line. That line was used to blocking for Derrick Henry, who could just run over people or run around people, and a quarterback that could run as well.
Now, do I think that they should go back to Tannehill's gone? Is Tannehill's
gone?
Yeah. So Will is the guy.
It's Will and Mason.
Yeah.
I think it's Will and Mason.
It is.
There's somebody else was in there.
Oh, Mason's going to be the third or the second.
Malik Willis is still there.
Yeah, and I think that was a bad.
They gave up on that.
That was a bad draft.
Yes. Yeah, and that was good coaching by Freeze.
But
make him look good.
But you look at the running back. You go from Derrick Henry, who's arguably one of the toughest, best running backs in the
Julius Chestnut, Hassan Hawkins, Tony Pollard,
Jabari Small,
Tajay Spears.
Now Spears is going to be the guy that they're going to rely on after Pollard, who's Tulane, and they like him. He's not horribly bad, but it's just that is concerning. And they don't have a good line. That was my point.
Okay, so he was a rookie. He was a rookie with Levis last year.
Yeah.
But
they liked him.
I know, but he sat behind. He had to sit behind, Derrick Henry. So the guy that sits behind Derrick Henry gets 453 yards. Now he's behind Pollard. He's your finesse back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what kind of offense they're going to be running. I haven't looked into what's his face's schemes, who he's got. If he's calling offense, if the other guy's calling offense. I haven't looked at Tennessee's overall coaching staff.
Callahan, he brought his dad over, he is one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL.
Right.
So they need it. I don't remember who their DC was.
We knew all this. We knew all this when it happened. It's been years, months, decades.
I'll look at that, but I think that the Derrick Henry loss is huge.
Denard Wilson.
Yeah, there he is.
Is he a white guy or a black guy?
I don't know which one he is. But yeah, it's Denard. There he is, right there.
Okay.
We had multiple pictures at press conferences.
It's so many different people. I didn't know who it was.
Where's he from? Let's see.
Which,
like I said, they got Calvin Ridley, Boyd, Pollard, whatever. Snead was brought in from the Chiefs, which we talked about. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, but does Snead do well outside the Chiefs?
Well, do you have the pass rush and to do that? So no, I agree with that. So,
son of a donkey.
Said they'd be violent from the beginning, and they have to be. I mean, that's going to be. The Levis thing concerns me. You're going to take him in your top 5-6 rounds of your fantasy draft, Levis? You won't.
Who?
Will Levis.
No.
You ain't. I mean, that's
Why
a
would
problem.
I do that?
Well,
That's your son.
No, I'm just saying.
Your son's going to pick him up later.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, he's a free agent.
He was Philly. Denard was the Philly in Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Before he came over, because I think he ended up getting fired in Philly this last season, which is why he was picked up by Callahan.
Well, for the most part, I think that, and Callahan wasn't the play caller at Cincinnati. That kind of bothered me about everything, though. Zach Taylor still is. Zach Taylor's the quarterback coach and the play caller at Cincinnati. So you hire Callahan, and it's almost like you fired Vrabel to downgrade. Are you wanting something, the new draft class? Does it look, hypothetically, allegedly, theoretically, whatever. All right, you got anything else?
I do not.
All right, well, we'll see you next.
We're gonna.
What is it? You picked.
It's gonna be Friday.
Okay, we'll see you Friday. We'll see you.
We
This
gotta
Friday.
get back on schedule. We gotta get back on Friday.
We'll see you this
schedule.
Friday. We're going to do NFC and AFC. Let's do the East.
Are you sure you want to do the Easts? You want to do
No,
the
let's
West?
do that last. Let's do the West. We'll do the West, and we'll do the Big
12 and the West.
Big 12 and the West next week. We'll give you all the things that we think. And all our baloney, and we wrote all this stuff down so we could give each other shit with it. And we forgot to talk about Daniel Jones being a man.
Yeah, as we close, Daniel Jones incites a scuffle at Giants-Lions practice. Now, Daniel Jones perpetually looks scared.
What? Me? Don't fight me.
And I don't. So what does it say? What caused this? It said that he incited it.
Come over and stuck up for a teammate, which is great. I don't think he's not a bad teammate at all. I told you guys
8 skirmishes that occurred.
I told you last year that I thought that was a good contract that the Giants signed. This is his last year in New York, and they're going to get off scot-free out of it. If he doesn't do well.
Well, they're getting out of Dayball too, so we need to start looking at coaches.
But I think there was also something that Amon St. Brown got into a skirmish.
Well,
yeah.
So it said the defense, the Giants defense, got into it with Amon-Ra St. Brown on the second play of the live drill.
But somebody did mention on Twitter
that melee involved several punches.
Yeah, but that Twitter said that a lot of the a lot of the Lions didn't come over and try to help Amon St. Brown because of all the contract drama and shit. So hell, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I always like contract. I have contract drama with you.
I mean, if you make $15 million and I'm making $1 million, there's going to be drama. It is what it is. But you'll never.
Yeah, you'll be upset that I'm making $15 million.
That's the point. So that's what
and not you.
That's what they were talking
but
about.
No, this is you. I wouldn't mind if I was making $1 million. You're making 15.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna get a cut of it.
All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you Friday.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.